Hello and welcome. My name is Rozzy Gator, aka Alexander Greenberg, and I will be starting a series. This will be episode number 1 of me doing a little bit where I read a children's book, usually ones from my childhood. They're for my son now, but I'm going to be reading them in one of my sort of voices, one of my characters. And today our first book is by Birkley. It is one ferocious story of the last Basselope. I believe I will be reading this one in probably what I would consider my announcer kind of voice. A very terrible long time ago, before such things as television and good table manners or even children, ferocious monsters roamed a younger, angrier world. Whispered legends tell of a race of razor-horned, slobbery-fanged beasts more ferocious than others. The stories say that the mere sight of one of them in a dinosaur neighborhood would inspire rip-snorting dinosaur pandemonium lasting for weeks. Stories also say that a few of these brutes survived those terrible times. They say that just beyond our backyards, deep within our forest gloom, a very last one of them is still hiding, snarling, eating grizzly bears whole and waiting to be discovered. They called him the last Basselope. Nobody read these Basselope stories more closely than the great and famous discoverer named Opus. Now, in truth, Opus was neither great nor famous, and had discovered precisely no spotted tigers, no people-eating toads, and generally no lost tribes of Nebraskan cannibals. Ooh. Even in this morning, he couldn't discover 2 clean socks. But he was hopeful. Surely, he thought, a great famous discoverer such as himself would soon be discovering something. And a razor-horned, slobbery-fanged Basselope seemed a properly ferocious something. An expedition must be formed. Opus found his best friends, Bill the house cat, Milk Toast the house bug, and Ronald Ann the house kid, watching TV in his living room. Several TVs, actually. Opus flung open the front door and pointed out into the sunshine. The great Basselope expedition is forming outside, he announced. Ferocious things are still out there. Undiscovered things. Wonderful things. Ronald Ann pointed out that there was a commercial for a Tidy Nose allergy spray on TV, which seemed wonderful enough. Thank you. Volunteers, please. Form an orderly line outside. No pushing, ordered the expedition leader. But they didn't form any line whatsoever, so we had to drag each of the volunteers out. Ronald Ann twice. By the feet. When Opus explained that they would all get on TV once the Basselope was captured, attitudes improved. He assigned responsibilities to each of the expedition members. Bill the cat would carry the survival gear. Milk Toast would watch for elephants and act as a manager once they got famous. And Ronald Ann would prepare the marshmallow gummy bear milkshakes. Delicious. Bill discovered some scraps of cardboard and an old set of cow horns in some nearby trash and danced around like a Basselope, assuming all but the expedition leader. Bill was scolded for goofing off and felt thoroughly useless. Sorry about that. It happens, I'm a human. We're off, announced Opus, with a mail-order Basselope net in hand. He led the group on out the back gate and down toward the massive trees beyond. They walked deep into the gloom of the ancient forest for many, many miles. The air was deadly still except for the unseen wings of unseen things gliding through the creeping mist. The great Basselope expeditionary force was lost. Then, at their feet, they suddenly noticed an endless, glowing carpet of dandelion puffs stretching in all directions. Stranger still, a mysterious path had been cut through this miniature white forest. Opus bent down for a closer look. The dandelion tops, he whispered, have been whacked clean off. Whacked, shrieked Ronald Ann, horrified. Clean off, repeated Opus. By razor-shaped horns, I guess Milk Toast.